and peace.
Yes, greetings. Check, 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 check. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, man. Enough respect. So, we didn't make the listeners know ahead. So many times then we keep it, a brandish and make the people them know who we're speaking with right now. And we've had a variety of different people that we have spoke with on this platform. But I am truly looking forward, as I do with everyone, but I'm really looking forward to this reasoning because you're a gentleman that I don't know very much about, and I would like to get to know as much as I can in this space of time. Welcome to Keep On Playing on I&I Radio with Lee the Performa, and I would like for you to introduce yourself to the folks.
All right, Chip. First of all, I want to thank you for having me on your program. My name is Dr. Kevin Chantilou. I am the senior pastor and bishop for Vision Worship Center in Pompano Beach, Florida.
Yes, sir.
And I also serve with an organization, a great organization, or a parent body organization, I should say, which is called the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World.
Okay.
I am a teacher by profession from Jamaica. Came here, started teaching as well, and then further my ministry, and so I'm here.
So, Pastor, Kevin, right?
Yes.
When
Yes, Kevin.
I can call you Kevin, or you want me to
Yes,
address
man,
Kevin?
of course.
All right,
Kevin
Kevin.
is fine.
So yes, enough respect. So, it's a reasoning, because there's a lot that I don't even know about, bishops and pastors, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in the community that would like to reason on that, just that transparent level as well.
Right.
But you said teacher, right? And that struck something within me. As a teacher from Jamaica, what were you teaching in Jamaica?
Okay, so I did primary education in Jamaica because within the education system in Jamaica, you have two different parts. There is primary education and there is secondary education.
Okay.
So when you do secondary education, you just concentrate on maybe a subject matter or two subject matters that you will teach. But when you do primary, and I hope I hope colleagues who are in teaching who hear that will not be offended, but it's true. When you do primary education, you're more rounded.
Okay.
So you're able to be placed anywhere. So basically all the subjects that you can think of, I taught them: the math, the science, the English, the social studies.
Yeah, cause my
education.
son just come from Jamaica about say within a year now, and
Right.
that transition is different because you would find that a teacher would probably teach many subjects in one classroom, opposed to having like individual classes. So one teacher could cover a lot more ground,
Right, because we did primary education. And what was unique about my position when I was in the classroom is that I'm a musician also by profession, right? You know how the Caribbean man is, man. So we do we have a multiplicity of stuff that we do, right?
So how much of these things do you think that you say you would call yourself a master at the things that you know to do?
Oh, brother.
We can talk about that later. All right, say what you're saying. Let's talk about that later. Continue talking. Right now, you sound like a man that have a lot of different things that you do. But I want to know what you master. But we can talk about that as we go along, Dr. Kevin. So go ahead and elaborate on what you were saying just now.
Right, I was saying that basically back in Jamaica, being a musician as well, because I grew up in the church, right?
Yes, sir.
So I would have kind of garnered those skills from back in the day. So when I started teaching, I was already a musician. And so what happened is we would exchange classes. So for example, if a teacher was competent in social studies or say math, which give a whole lot of people a problem, and they are not musically inclined, I was the music teacher. So what I would do, I would take their class for a music session while they take my class. for a subject that we would have agreed on in doing. So, it was fun. And then I moved from there. I transitioned from there to the Ministry of Education under the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, which is an entity from Ministry of Education that is in charge of unearthing and developing the culture and just keeping it alive. So when I left the classroom, I was appointed as the cultural officer under education for Kingston and St. Andrew. So all the cultural activities for the schools within Kingston and St. Andrew came under my portfolio for about maybe 4.5 years.
Wow.
Before I left. Mm-hmm.
Before you come to the States, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. Look at this now. So let's rewind just a little bit, right? Because what brought you into teaching? Was it the first thing that you said as a child? It was like, you know what, I'm going to be a teacher, or is it something that kind of evolved after a while and it come to you as you went along?
Great question. So it is said that children live what they learn.
Yes, sir.
And so, based on my time in Jamaica, there were two things. As I'm saying it, I'm smiling now, but there are two things that I wanted to be. One, because I grew up in the church, I wanted to be a preacher, not necessarily a pastor.
I can tell you something.
But
I can tell you when I was growing up, I that's something that I felt like, because it's like the love when me have for God or what me know as God is like my always the one just be a pastor. And
really?
I think some kind of way I kind of do something similar, because I like to see people happy, and I like to see people rejoicing and having the best time of their life, and that's why I'm into music, and I get to see a lot of people at those points in their life are see people elevate and get uplifted. So that's something that I can definitely relate to. All right, continue, Pastor.
Yes, sir. So I growing up in church, which I have a unique story to. We'll probably get to that.
Yes, sir.
But I grew up in church and I saw people preaching. As you said, I saw people being happy. I saw people being delivered and being freed and all of that. And I said, wow, I want to be a minister.
Yeah.
Which would actually give you a lighter responsibility than being a pastor, because when you're a pastor, you're directly in charge, of the people and the everyday running of the church. So a minister, you're just a part of. You don't have that great responsibility as the leader.
Okay. Teach me, teacher. Yeah, man, continue, man. Teach me. So minister different than pastor then.
Definitely.
Okay.
Pastor has the ultimate control over the sheep. And as a matter of fact, if we wanted to go Bible, you have the ultimate responsibility to present to God, according to scripture, a glorious church. Yes. The minister doesn't have that. The minister works along with the pastor, and so you go by directives that is given by the leader.
So you never want that burden right out the bat. You didn't want.
No, never wanted it, and I ran from it. I ran from it for years. Yeah. Never wanted it. Some people, they would say they love it because they look at the glamour.
Them see the glory and them don't know the story. Them don't know the story.
There you go. They see the chair. Yeah. They see when it is a pastor's appreciation time.
Yeah, too much is given, much is required. Yes, it's a lot of work and a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, pastoring happens before you get a mic to be the main speaker on Sunday morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I want to get into a lot of that. I want to reason about a lot of that because, I'm a Rasta man, you know what I mean? And I love the reasoning because I can get we can draw some bridges and make people identify, say, separation thing, me not to like deal with them thing there. Me deal with love, and me's a man of love. You see me, I say, I grew up in the church as well. I grew up, learning through Christianity and learning about the Almighty through that faith, that way of teachings. And I personally don't look at it as a bad thing for me because it gives me a sense of God. you know, and it gives me a sense of discipline and knowing that there's something and someone higher than me, you know, and it keep me in check a lot of the way, you know. So I want to have a whole heap of, you know, transparent reasoning and good vibes.
Moreover, too, we as Jamaicans,
Yes.
I'm thinking you are Jamaican, right?
Yes, man, 100%.
By birth. Okay,
Yes.
right. And so we have a culture.
Yeah.
And you'd agree
Yeah.
that made us grow. A part of that culture,
Yeah.
it has grounded us in the church. Jamaica is a God-fearing
We love
country.
God,
Jamaica
man.
is a Christian
We
nation.
love God. We love the Almighty.
No matter how ratchet some of us might
No, man, we
get.
love you could have seen the baddest man. Him could have been the baddest gunman with the wickedest name I road. Him love God.
He knows about
and him have a
church
sense
and
of
the
God.
running.
Yeah. So it's important. It is very, very
Yeah.
important. As them say, the Guinness World Book of Records per square mile, you know, most
We have the
churches
most.
and most bars too. So as me don't know balance going to pastor, but that's some here. Yes.
I have heard that, but
Yeah.
every street of New York have at least 3 churches.
Yeah, mighty. So all right, so now let's speak a little bit now of your all right, before we go
So
to
that was the church.
Yeah,
So
so-
that was the church. You're asking about teaching. And then I saw how being a teacher as
Yeah.
a young man, how it helped to motivate people, you know. And so when we were growing up, play what we call, for those who would understand when we talk about it, dolly house.
Yeah.
We would beat off every leaf of the bush.
Yeah.
Right? Was it a great example?
Yeah.
But you know, teachers back in the day used to administer, you know, that kind of a punishment. And so I just said, okay, so those 2 things I wanted to be, and I'm grateful to God. I have become them.
Yeah, man, I tell you, me remember the beating them, man. Me remember. Me remember them days that, you know, me come a far away because me look on it like a different now, you know, pastor, with the beating and thing. You know what I say? But
Right,
yeah,
right,
but
of
boy, me
course.
at school and thing, man, me get enough beating. And it tell you the truth, me, them did love me, you know, the whole I teacher them did love me. Like, love me on a
good.
different level where it's like almost like me did favored almost in a school.
Right,
But
right.
I used to get some lick. You see me? In my family too, my household, I got the most beaten because I think I used to just
wow.
get the most trouble.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
man.
So you're saying it was warranted.
Yeah, me get some beaten.
Though we don't agree nowadays when we
because
look back.
everybody-
Though we don't agree how it was administered.
Yeah, but you know what? For me, pastor, I don't hold any grudges. Like me no look on my mommy and say, boy, she give me some lick, you know, and me bex with her cause she give me. I'm not that kind of a person, but I identify different people process different things differently. So in that wisdom, I've identified that I don't think it is a good thing for straight across the board because it's not everyone gonna process things the certain way. Like for me, that's why I don't believe in playing like gunman tune and them thing there because I realize that I could probably listen to a song like that and I'm not gonna go out there and hurt nobody. But then a next person could hear something like that and it could motivate them towards violence. I'm just saying. You see me I say because I've seen it in action already, being a maestro and being somebody who work in the club scenes and on stage and concerts when see people get, you know, going to a certain realm. So a lick or beating then could register to a different individual that there is a different form of outcome. So I believe in reasoning. Hence, Now War With You, which is one of my song them, which is my slogan, which I carry it with me, is that I don't believe in that we have to become violent. Because as my wife say, you know, she doesn't believe that the world our society is that kind of way. Like you do something and then you start get licked. Like people are beat you. It's like we in society and we get a different kind of lick. It's not necessarily the beating of the actual physical rod, you know, per se.
Right.
Yeah, it's like maybe monetary, which I think that is very important for us to learn from early. You know that you there's penalties and that is something that goes lifelong. If you do things outside, you're up on the road and you speed and the police see you, you get a ticket and it hit your pocket. You know what I mean? there's late fees, there's a bunch of different things that you live, if you live outside of the thing that we have agreed on systematically, that can help us move forward. These are the things that you will be penalized with. So some of the time them, I think it's good when, you know, with the youth them, if you can hit them with a little, you know, in a them pocket a little bit and make them feel that. Because me see all my youth, you know, me take all a $10 from him or charge him for something, him get wild and it hurt him. Or you take him phone, or you take something from him and value
there
him.
are always consequences.
Oh
for
my
behavior.
God, it's like them. It's like they lick them, they lick them no hurt. So it's like it do not like it like that move them. Anyway, so that's,
and it is interesting. It is interesting that you say that, because as an educator, that is what I have taken over that into the church world to make my job really better, right? And to even encourage parents whenever I address the young people in front of their parents, and to let them understand that there are methods and ways that you can use, whether you are Jamaican, American, or wherever you are from, that you can actually find ways and methods in punishing a child without hitting them. And as you rightly said, taking away something that they love.
Because I feel that the liquor we get when we do the beat when we get in our life most of the time is that you get something taken away from you.
You're living out. Yeah, some people are living out what they were taught. So it is as if, and I believe, and I have seen this, and even as a parent, when I was growing my son, and coming up, I get to understand. If you shout all the time, you know what's going to happen after a while? Your shout will be of none effect.
None effect, yeah.
If you hit them all the time, every time they do something, after a while, it becomes immune to their system. It's as if they're going to do something and knowing what is going to be the punishment. So it's of none effect. So you always have to find different strategies in helping your child to excel.
Yes, Bishop. So we're speaking right now for all who just tuning in here on INI Radio. We're speaking with Bishop Dr. Kevin C. Chantilou. That's how you say your last name, right? Chantilou.
Yes, sir. Chantilou. Yes, sir. You did good.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Chantilou, Doctor, Bishop, a man of many different angles and different a lot of wisdom and you know, it shows a lot about your character, because it shows that you're not limited, you know, you're unlimited. You're not just boxing yourself into any one thing. Cause we speak about musician now, and we speak about teacher. And now I wanna speak a little bit about now, what community did you grow up in Jamaica?
I grew up in a community called Fairfield Road, that is in Spanish Town.
In Spanish Town?
Yes, Fairfield Road, Spanish Town.
So what was that like growing up as a youth now? You did go dance and them something there, you just always kind of... me want to know, you know, Pastor, I want to know, man. You get to dance and them something, man, and all a vibe. Because sound that play, you know. What go on, Pastor? Talk to it.
That's all right, man. And I'm here to answer and to rock with the vibe.
Yeah, man, because I love dancing, Pastor. I want to know, man. You go dance?
So in my lifetime, I've been to a dance, but this is going to be interesting. So before I got to Spanish Town, right?
Yeah.
I grew up as an orphan. I was left on the step of a stranger at 3 months old, right?
Yes.
And when I was 6 months old, and when I was growing up, that was in Maypen, Clarendon, a place called Effortville.
So that's where you're born in Maypen?
No. I was born in Kingston.
You're born in Kingston. Oh, sorry. Pardon. It's not listening.
Right, but I was left on the step of a stranger, total stranger. I just buried her. Maybe going, I think 3 years. My wife would quote me better. But maybe 3 years now I buried her. But grew up poor. She took care of me until I was 6 years old. God blessed me that I grew old and I was able to return the favor of taking care of her. And as I said, just buried her. But then when I was 6, I was taken from her by my birth mother, and I was taken to Spanish Town in Fairfield Road, where I grew up. Of course, that was another 6 years.
Can you remember any of that time from 0 to 6 where you can remember that time? What was that like?
Man, you're asking the right questions because you're ticking the brain now. You're making my brain tick and go back. So growing up, I call her Mama, my foster mom.
Yes.
Because when I grew a little older, of course, she told me, that I was left on the steps. She heard me crying, came around, took me up, blah blah blah, and cared for me. Growing up, Mama was very poor.
Yes.
But I remember that she had a lot of goats, so I had a whole lot of goat milk. I always joke about it that I had so much milk that I am milked out now, so I don't bother with milk.
No, but them said that are the best milk that like the goat milk. The Bible all talk about the goat's milk too.
Yeah, man, it was good milk because there's a time with goat milk. Those who are Jamaicans and listening will tell you that when that milk settles, there is a thing on the top. It makes a layer on the top that you could just tear right off, right?
Wow. Goodness.
And you would eat that. So Mama gave me a whole lot of milk, and as I said, she wasn't rich, but whatever she was putting at her mouth, she took care of me, and that was where I was first. The seed of righteousness, rather, was first sowed in my heart, in my mind, because she was a church person.
Wow.
So she would take me to church. I rode donkeys. I learned how to build coal skill. That is making the charcoal that a lot of people know up here that we buy and use now at Home Depot. Of course, it's packaged and look well, but some people don't know where that come from.
Yes.
So I used to do that. Drank a lot of bush tea, man. So I know a lot. I know a lot about bush and herbs and all of that good stuff. We never had medicine. When we were sick and had a stuffy nose or cold, Mama would lift up the wick from the lamp.
Yes.
Put some kerosene oil on her hand and heat it and then rub it over you. Oh, listen, man. By daylight, your problem was gone.
Oh, now I hear them style of people. Yes, man. It's real deal. You know what I mean? Me love it. Me love it.
Thank you. So all of those things I grew up on, and I know Mama used to sell fish, and brother, when she's coming through that community to come home, and she would call out fresh fish, people would stop and buy. We didn't have refrigerator, right?
Yes.
And so what we had to do back in those days to preserve the ice was to dig a hole and put the chips, which we call sawdust, from the mill over the ice in the hole to preserve it. Man, it's just a lot. So
Pastor, we're gonna talk a little bit more after the break. I'm gonna call you again, okay? So just answer, please. We're gonna take a quick break and then we'll return. Yes, one love.
So hang up. I should
hang up and I'll call you. I'll call you again. Thank you.
Right. Bless you.
Yes, man. We're speaking with Bishop Dr. Kevin C. Chantilou. See? So keep it locked. I Radio, Lee the Performa, theperforma.com. Bishop Dr. Kevin C. Chantilou. See? Chantilou, Doctor, yes, man. So right now we're gonna call him forward. See? So yeah, man, we are go outside of just the selector world and we are go reason with the doctor, the bishop, the pastor, see? Yeah, man. So he's a maestro, he's a man we are doing thing long time, so I'll call him forward again.
Certainly back.
Greetings. Yes.
Thank you, man.
Yes, man. Big up yourself. So right now, me I talk about that thing there from what the big up yourself thing, we were using a Jamaican terms, and I like it. So big up yourself. For that we are do right now. We are big up yourself, make people know what you are doing in our community. You know what I say? And we were talking before the break about for everyone again who's just locking in, we're talking to Bishop Dr. Kevin C. Chantilou, and we were talking about you being left at a stranger's step as a infant, right?
Yes, 3 months old.
3 months old. So did your, I know you're getting up to speaking about where you actually, the lady that you call mom, right? Ma, or you call her mom.
You call her mama.
Mama is the lady that actually was that lady that step that you were left at.
Yes, Mama Adassa Cornwall.
Live forever, man. Immortalize, man, and live forever. Forever celebrated. Thank you for your good work. You know what I say? So I want to know, did your mom think about the lady, or she was just a complete stranger? Did she know that this lady would take care of your actual birth
Well,
mom?
well, I don't know if she knew she would have taken care of me, but the story goes, and my maternal grandmother, before she died, um, you know, enlightened me on the story, and so did Mama Adasa did, because my grandfather worked so much. My maternal grandmother couldn't keep me. So apparently my mother came into town and wanted to leave me on my grandmother. My grandmother didn't know that. And so she told my grandmother that the sun is hot and she wanted to go to the shop up the hill to buy baby feeding
So
for me.
grandma never know.
Grandma didn't know what she wanted to do. And that is right across the street. So one road divides both houses in the
Okay.
community. And so grandma said to her, no, carry the baby, because my husband is here, I'm taking care of him, bring the baby to the shop with you. And so what she did in that, because she had a plan, she took me next door, spoke to Miss Mama Adasa, and the story goes that Mama Adasa, she told them that there was nobody over her mom's house, but she was just passing to say hello. Lo and behold, they thought she left with me, but it was when she heard me crying, she realized that my mother had left me there. So she knew it was my birth mother that left me on her step. Now, of course, there's a part of the story that I had struggled with as I got older, but I'm glad that I got clarity, right?
Yes.
Because having found out that my maternal grandmother was just across the street and I am her grandson and she didn't take me in, I kind of had a little resentment when I grew up, because I was saying, how is it that you didn't take me from a stranger?
Yes.
But after my grandmother explained to me the reason why she did not take me from the stranger, I accepted it and everything was good. Because she said to me, her husband was sick. She couldn't take care of a baby, but this was what my maternal grandmother did. And Mama Dasa told me the same thing. Whatever she had in her power to do for me and to give to me, she would give Miss Dasa on my behalf.
Wow.
And so because of that, we still had a great relationship. She just could not take care of a child because, of course, she raised 9 children, right?
Wow.
And now having a sick husband and couldn't take care. So once I understood that, I was good where that part of my history is concerned. So even though, as I said, she was across the street, it was okay. But Miss Dasa grew me, and my maternal grandmother as well was also a church person. So I had it both ways. So like I said, at 6 years old now, from 3 months old to 6 months to 6 years old, that was when my birth mother came back and literally stole me away.
So
from Mama
how she managed to do that? You can
Well,
just, if you don't mind telling
Mama
me.
was not home.
Yeah.
Mama was not home.
Yeah.
And Mama's daughter was home, and she came, and I understood it very clearly. And it's interesting when you had asked me, when you said 0 to 6.
Yes.
This is what I learned as an educator.
Yes.
When I started my teacher training. And that is why we tell parents and guardians and everybody, you must be careful what it is that you do to a child, because from 0 to 6, you might not understand the science, but there is a sense or a faculty that remains, that's called memory, that they don't forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of people do babies and young kids stuff and believe that they don't forget. There's going to come a time where some people will forget. Not everybody have the same brain space. And so I remember clearly at 6 years old, I am in 2 weeks, I am 50.
Wow.
Right? May 18th. So when she came that day, I remember clearly, Chip, how
That
She
4 days
fought
after my
off.
daddy birthday. 4 days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the
I
Taurus are
remember.
Gemini. What am I say?
Yeah, well, that's what they say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that was
Taurus.
the Taurus. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But she fought off Mama Dassa's daughter
Mm.
that we would call Mummy. That was her nickname. You know, everybody in Jamaica have a
Yeah, everybody
nickname.
have one. All if you know one,
Yeah.
you get one.
And she fought her off, and she's saying, "You can't take the baby because Mama is not here." And of course, she said it is her child and all of that. And anyway, she got me ready. I remember even the very clothes that she brought for
Yeah.
me to put on. I didn't have a bag pack and nothing like that. Just the clothes that she brought. So, of course, pulling me up the hill. And I'm crying, Mama, Mama, because remember, I don't know this woman that is
Yeah.
taking me away.
Yeah, yeah. Cause your memory you know, obviously no one know not 3 months. So
I only know
your reality
Mama
is
Dasa.
is Mama
Yes.
Dasa. Yeah, yeah. That is your
Yes.
mommy. Yeah.
And so by the time I am getting to the top of the hill,
Yes.
I hear the famous cry, fresh fish. Oh my God. I know that was Mama
Yeah,
coming
the
home.
real mama. You
The
know your mind,
real
your real mama.
was
Yeah.
coming home.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that time.
Yes.
And so when we got to her,
Mm.
she said to my birth mother, "What are you doing with the baby?" And
Yes.
she said, "Oh, I am here for my child." Of course, she never said in English, but in
Yeah.
in the Jamaican patois, she said, "Me come for me
I
picnic."
can imagine.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, and Mama said to her, "You can't just. I had this baby from he was 3 months old. You
Yeah.
can't just come and take him. It is your right because
Yeah.
it's your child. But come and take him properly." And then Mama said this thing because his father is at the bush. That is her husband. So remember, she's Mama,
Yeah.
and her husband to me is Papa.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Okay.
She still took me.
Yeah.
And I left, and that was how I ended up in Fairfield Road, Spanish Town, because that is where she lived. And I had another 6 years, which took me to almost 12 years old.
Yeah.
There. And to be honest with you, I am doing my memoir now. It is in its early stages.
Yes.
But I need to complete that manuscript so I can get it published because it's a powerful story. It was really 6 years of hell because you took me from a place of comfort,
Yes.
took me to where you are. You said you're married now and you're trying to settle down, but it was 6 years of hell because after 6 years, she left me and my two sisters.
So respectfully,
And went abroad.
Pastor, you think that there's any form of resent? Right.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Not anymore. But I struggled for years trying to find out if I am your eldest child. I am the only boy that you had. Why is it that you took me away from comfort and then you had another two children and then you leave me? But and I tried to reconcile because as I grew older at 19,
Yes.
I tried to reconcile, heard her number where she was called, and we tried to reconcile on the phone. Never happened. As I grew older, started preaching. I'm now a preacher. I'm now a bishop. Went to the country that she was. She heard that I was coming to the church and came there. And to be honest with you, she was on a fast track. And I said to her, having identified who she was, I said, we have to take this thing slow. But I want you to forgive yourself because I'm a preacher of the gospel and I let it go a long time. I let go of the hurt, of the beating that you did, that your husband did, which was my stepfather, and all of that stuff. I said, I'm now grown. Let's just take it slow. She wasn't willing to take it slow because apparently she wanted me to just go ahead and call her mommy or mummy or whatever it is. And you have to
Yeah, it's a
understand.
valid point there, so stick
You
up
have to
in.
understand the truth of the matter. Yes.
Stick up in there. So you see what you just say is very, very significant. You know, sometimes you do something to someone, and I try to tell people this all the while, and I try to tell myself this as well, right? Because we've all done things to people in this life, and that maybe you didn't do it deliberately, but it hurt a person, right? And sometimes it's like, how them can't just forgive, Remember that everybody has their own timing. and everyone has their own timing of forgiveness as well in itself. Because I would rather a person take 10 years to truly forgive me than just to look at me in 10 minutes and say, yeah man, I forgive you man, and then them don't really forgive me. So your biological mom wasn't in the space to give you that time. She wanted it right away. She wanted to know that, yeah, I am mommy, I already said sorry, and you need to just identify that I'm sorry. But you knowing that you had to process it and you wanted to give a true, genuine forgiveness, so she just have to wait.
You got it right. You said it. You said it's best. So it is like the Bible tells us in the King James Version, right? Of about, I think, Philippians chapter 3 from verse 13 down there, when Paul was talking.
Yes.
And he's talking about things that he apprehended. But the part that I love is the B clause, when he says, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to the things which are before, I press towards the mark of the prize of the high calling. What I was saying to her, here what happened. You are going to understand what I am trying to say is I have let go of the past. Remember, I still have memory of it.
Yes.
But in order to heal myself, I am moving forward. Because remember, when it comes on to forgiveness, a lot of times, and people need to understand this, it's not really about the person, It's about yourself.
It's about you. That is a very, very powerful statement and very, very real.
You have to learn to forgive yourself first before you can even think about the other person. And this is what I was saying to her, because it was 6 years of abuse, man. I went through the abuse. And one of the reasons why I went through abuse, this is maybe God bless you. It's that there was a gift inside of me of singing. Right? My stepfather, and you will love this because you're a musician now. Yeah. He was a songwriter and he wasn't getting anywhere in the music business. He found out that secretly I have been listening to him singing those songs, and I started learning them songs. And whenever he went to festival, he would flop. But when I went, I was winning all these music. I won the Jamaica Popular Song Competition in 1987 and represented St. Catherine for a year.
You know, funny you say the man flop. The man flop. So you mean when you say the man flop, like how him flop?
Jamaican terms.
Oh, you mean like him the bust the place? Him the bust the place.
Come down.
You know, easy in the past. I say man flop by the man. You take the show. So you take the show with theme song them.
Winning, man. Records will show you that 1987 Popular Song Competition. Yeah. Kevin Chantilou won that. Those days, let me drag your memory. You remember this young guy by the name of Stuart Nelson?
Not offhand, just like that.
All right, hear the song that he sung. Oh, I miss you, yes I do. Baby, still I love you. Oh, I miss you. That love song that was hitting, unless you're so young.
Yeah, probably I don't remember. Or maybe I just wasn't in the scene.
That was a young man that was hitting it big in Jamaica. Anyway, he went to abroad. And they found him in a pool dead.
Wow.
He had a scholarship. So it was right after that, I started rising as a young singer, and I made one record with a song that's called Festival Come Again, which was written by my stepfather.
So where could I find all them songs, Them songs they both somewhere.
It should be somewhere. It should be somewhere though. I know it's archived. I know the record is in the archive in Jamaica because I went there and found it before.
Wait, we have to go bring out them songs and bring them again.
Yeah, that was a great song because he wrote it. So
yeah,
this was where part of my abuse came in.
Yeah,
I chose church over singing secular music.
Okay.
I decided, because remember now, if you're following the story well and your listeners are following well, remember, I grew up in church. That seed of righteousness was in my heart.
Yes, sir.
Even though I was singing on stage, I loved it. When Taste His Talent competition was not where it was, I was one of the first competitors on that show. Rockers Award, all these shows, man. I'm telling you, I'm only 50, but sometimes I think I'm older.
Yeah. Okay.
So all those shows I used to be on, but there was just something in me that was calling me to the church. Yes. And the day I decided that I don't want to sing, it was a day when I was starved. I was put to stand watch my two sisters eat,
Yes.
and I would stand up and they would give me no food to eat. Right?
Yeah.
My shoes was taken away. I had to go to school bare feet and all of those things. But I tell you this for somebody to know that today I stand as somebody who has been delivered, who is free, no bitterness, but I am telling my story.
Yes, and I appreciate your story, and that's what
Yeah.
this is about. Is about the journey, and
Yeah.
learning different people's way of doing things and the way that what brought them towards being here right now. And
Yes.
that can inspire someone along the way, and that's what
Exactly.
this is about. The platform is about learning about you, but then other people can look and listen and say, wow, that is really amazing and remarkable.
Right. Right.
You said that you stepped away from secular music, right? So
Mhm.
that would I mean like slackness, like songs where are just songs that is
No,
not
not
of
really.
gospel
Yeah,
music.
yeah. I wouldn't push it to slackness because you and I know it was later days, maybe
Yeah.
when it was like the 80s, 90s, or even more modern, where slackness became more prevalent. Because back in the day, my grandmother appreciated music
Yes.
from a variety of artists, as you know, that never sing slackness, but they were just conscious music. So she used to encourage us to listen to conscious music, that it was okay once there was no bad word in there or no,
It feel
gal
it feel
this,
good.
gal
It
that.
feel good. Yeah.
Good music,
Yeah.
like them old songs that used to play on a Sunday evening. Remember back in the day in Jamaica,
Yeah.
you come from church in the day and your neighbor blasting the oldies but goodies, and those are conscious music.
Yes, yes. As a music,
So
go
I
ahead.
stepped away from that because I chose church. I wanted to be in church, so I was interested in and guess
So
what?
no,
One of
but
the
no one
reasons-
force you in that direction. Is you make that
No.
conscious decision for yourself.
made a conscious decision because I keep saying the same, the seed of righteousness was sown, and guess what?
Yes.
I found out from that age, growing up, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, that if I looked at it one day to say, if I'm a star, so here am I now, I have finished primary school, I am now going to secondary school, and I'm a star. If I'm a star and I'm singing on all these shows and I'm getting all this money, then come September morning, I should have new uniform, new bag, and all of that, right? I should be looking like a star.
Yes.
The money was not spent on me.
Okay.
So because the money was not spent on me, I made a conscious decision to say, oh, so I'm not stupid. So the money is not spent on me. There is no benefit here. I feel
Okay.
better being at church than being on the stage, because
Wow.
at church I am being fulfilled. On the stage, I'm only getting the clothes when I'm going to sing, but outside of that, there is nothing for me. They are empowering themselves, buying their car, taking care of their children, all of that, and I am left out. So
That's a very
I was
valid
like,
point you touch right there, Card. And many youth even facing that to this day, where they're being people using them, you know what I mean, using
Youth,
them, and
yes.
they're putting all their hearts in it, and they maybe don't have the knowledge of how to approach it in a business matter and a
Right.
manner, and being used basically.
Right.
So we're talking with Bishop Dr. Kevin C. Chantilou, and I know we want to get to the States because we only have about 7 minutes, so
Okay.
that's Jamaica. I feel like we really talk about Jamaica, and we deep dive, and I've learned so much, I can see the teacher, I can see the musician, I can see the minister, I can see the lover of church, and the lover of people, and
Yes, sir.
the forgiver. I can see all of those things, and I see you now coming now. You're into the States now. You're in the States now. What is that journey like? Just give me a quick run through of how you come to this point, and then also bring us to this point and tell us what you have evolved into, what you have developed into holistically overall.
Okay, so when I left Jamaica, as I said in my opening, I really came to America as a teacher. And when I came here, I came for a better way of life because, having traveled, you would have found out that some things are better achieved elsewhere. But Jamaica is a great country and all of that. But, having tasted America from spending time, I decided that I wanted to be here. So I came here as a teacher,
Mm.
worked on a permit for a while, and being a teacher and a minister at the same time, I got to transition into ministry, meaning people start knowing me now. I'm preaching all over. Then I got jobs in the churches, for example, as associate pastor. I was in Connecticut at one time, and then I'm traveling to other places. Didn't stay in the classroom long. Because I found out that the entire system was different. The discipline from Jamaica coming to America is totally different.
Yes.
So I taught for a while, and
Yes.
then I transitioned from Connecticut to Florida. When I came to Florida, I started working with another bishop, and I told him, based on my experience in Jamaica as a minister, and based on my experience in Connecticut, when I came to Florida, I said, I will work with you, give you everything that I have until I know what the Lord is saying to me. I stayed with him, gave everything I had. I literally was running the church. So I was like a spiritual son. And after two and a half years, I started a program on the radio. People start getting to know me. Then I hear the voice of the Lord, knowing who I am. He's calling me into the pastorate. He's calling me to heal people in terms of, their mental capacity and all of that. And fast forward, I launched a ministry called Vision Worship Center.
Yes.
Has that motto of a place of purpose, power, and restoration.
Yes.
And so we live out that creed. As a musician, as a singer, I'm a worshiper. So when you come to that church,
Yeah.
you're going to get a whole lot of singing. So I have great musicians.
We say it no
I
flop.
would
It
say.
don't flop.
No, sir. No, sir. On any given Sunday,
full
you
of
can log
vibes.
on to my page.
That
We
was
have-
always
we
my
have
favorite part of
excellent
church too. Like when I go to church is
So
when
the musicians are young,
Wow.
great musicians. We have great singers.
Yeah.
So the church is very musical.
yes, sir. Yes,
Um,
sir.
and so we live out that creed. We having been pastoring
Yeah.
since 2010 when I started that church as a senior pastor. 2017, I was consecrated to the office of the bishop. So I still pastor.
So you
do my
can't you
local
can't
work.
run from the pastor thing. You see, like
Can't run.
you were
Can't
running
run
from
anymore.
it, and
Can't-
it run to you. Yes, it's in your hands
Can't
now.
run- Yes, sir.
Yes,
So-
and you feel the
so I
responsibility.
still pastor.
You feel the
Mhm.
responsibility, and you
Yes,
embrace
and
it
then
and you
I
own
have
it.
a terrain that I cover
Yeah.
as a bishop as well, and it has been an experience, man.
So what's
And
the
what I have
difference
done-
between a bishop and a pastor, or is it the same thing? Just
Okay, so a pastor governs his local church and the runnings of everyday affair.
Mhm.
In a nutshell, a bishop covers a wider terrain because a bishop is a pastor of pastors.
okay.
So you have other pastors under you, and you cover a diocese or a terrain.
Mhm.
So really, you can't be a bishop unless you have a territory that you are over, and it is really an administrative role that you carry out as a bishop. You give guidance.
Mhm.
You should be somebody who's not a novice, as the scripture says,
Yes.
but you have experience that you can teach others. You ordain people, you consecrate people to different offices, and you share with your brothers and sisters who is in the episcopacy as well in making other bishops.
Okay, so in closing of the radio aspect of things, because we're gonna keep talking a little bit further after this, but I would like to know how people can find you, like on the internet and such.
Okay, so my personal Facebook page is Bishop Doctor. That's connected. The word Bishop Doctor, which is DR, and then Kevin Kevin C Chantilou CHANTILOU. You can find me there. So it's Bishop Dr. Kevin C Chantilou, and you'll find me there on any given Sunday morning for a service. It starts at 7 a.m. every Sunday morning, and then there's a website which is www.visionworshipcenter.com. and that is center with a T-E-R, as Vision, VISION, center, CENTER, Vision Worship Center, .com.
Perfect.
That's our website.
So thank you for reasoning here on I Radio. Keep on playing with Chip Lee the Performa on just the spotlight reasoning with us today, and we're gonna keep on reasoning a little bit as this program comes to a close at 3:00. We're gonna turn it over to Pat Montague coming up at 3:00. So yes, my name is Chip Lee the Performa. Stay on the line, please. We're gonna keep reasoning a little bit longer. See, theperforma.com. More love and light. See.
Chipley.
Yes, Bishop. So,
yeah, man.
We want to reason a little bit longer. We're on the Performa.com live. So that closed the radio aspect of things, but we're going to keep it going on the Performa.com on our live stream and just talk a little bit more, because I know that you are involved in, you spoke a little bit about being over different pastors and stuff as a bishop. But I read some of your bio, and in the bio, it's showing how you're doing a lot of work like in Africa and different places in the world. You can elaborate on those things a little bit and let us know how that look.
Yes. All right. So everything that I do, it has to do with my history, right? So being somebody that was basically an orphan, I developed that love and that crave to help others. Right. So what I've turned that energy into, some years ago, many years ago, because we're there no for a while. Many years ago, I was put in contact with somebody from Uganda. And so I went to Uganda, saw the need, and we started what I call an independent orphanage program where we cater to 150 children per day. We actually feed 150 kids per day.
Wow.
From our ministry, and of course with the help of corporate sponsors and all of that. And that is in Kampala, Uganda, East Africa. We go there. I have a trip that go there every May, apart from when the pandemic was on.
Yeah.
And I go back for a pastor's conference in November. Well, there's one in May, and then I go back in November. So that orphanage, I get sponsors to sponsor the kids, and they are kids that were either rejected by their parents or their parents can't afford it anymore. So we give clothes to them, and aid and all of that, whatever help that lie within our power that we can get for them, we get for them. So we keep going back and we keep running that program and keep having people to sponsor it on a whether it is monthly basis. Because, for example, from our church, I have asked people to sponsor 2 kids. So there are people that would pay into the ministry separately for the sponsorship, or when they give monies to the ministry, they will make sure they appropriate the funds to say this goes to the kids that I'm sponsoring in Africa and all of that. So that has been an ongoing project, which is actually a success. That project has been really a success. We are so well known and noted now that when we are going to Uganda and we are taking stuff, that we are not charged, whether by U.S. Customs and Immigration and even the Ugandan government. Once we go in, we have our letter, they know who we are. It is just a breeze to go through with the stuff.
Wow. Well, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, sir,
for doing what you're doing, in Africa and reaching out to, broaden the horizons. You know what I say?
Yeah. We help people in Kenya too, like widows in Kenya.
Yes.
There's a group that we send monies to every other month through one of our pastors that I cover there as his bishop in Kenya. We send monies to take care of them as well. And we do stuff even for Jamaica. Of course, I can't leave out my birth country, right?
Yes.
So there are schools in Jamaica. There's one particular school now in the ghetto area of Kingston in Hannahtown that we sponsor, and they get a check from our ministry every month end, and that is to help with the kids, help with paying salaries for the teachers and all of that. So that is something that we recently commit to as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the wonderful, the good works that you're doing. I want, speaking of good works, I want to say a word to you, and then you can elaborate upon that as well.
Yes.
Food. You're doing stuff with me see I do something. you make sauce and talk a little bit about them thing there too, man.
So remember, as I said, Jamaicans are resilient people.
Yeah,
right?
very much so.
And yes, and everything that I do, it's a part of my component. It is what makes me up the way I was grown, not having enough and just using my brain.
Yes.
And all of that. And so
growing up with make fashion.
Yes. Growing up with the two grandmothers, I'm a grandmama's boy. So therefore, there has to be some kind of talent. Because no matter how professional we are, there must be a trade or some kind of talent that you have.
Yes.
My talent that I have is cooking. Right?
Okay.
And as a result of that, when I found out that I could really cook, because I can really cook, right?
I believe you.
I decided that it's not just boiling, but I decided that because I can cook, what I'm going to do in order to enhance my skills and learn technique, I wanted to send myself to school. So I actually, after I got a little bored of, and I mean, it's a strong statement, but after I got a little bored of teaching, I wanted something to do. So I decided that I'm going to go to culinary school and do little courses here and there and stint to perfect what I did. So I basically had a restaurant for myself, which bears my name here in Florida, Chantilou Caribbean Cuisine.
Oh, wow.
I run other restaurants in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and all of that. So when the market was going for a recession in America in 2009, 2010, I decided that because I didn't want to be in debt with nobody, I am going to close the restaurant. So I closed the restaurant.
Okay.
People on the beach heard about me and my skills, that, he's Jamaican and he knows flavor, so we're going to hire him. So I was doing menus and I was teaching people to cook Caribbean stuff on the beach and all of that, and made good money while pastoring. It was a lot, but pastoring. So one day I just got up out the blue and I said to my wife, I said, I'm going to make something in my honor, because I've done so many things for other people. I've run my own restaurant. I've helped people to launch. I've helped people to do their menu. I need something out there that is going to represent me. And my wife, just like you, asked the right question. I said, so what are you thinking of? I said, I'm thinking of a sauce line.
Yeah.
She said, what are you going to call the sauce line? I said, because it's pepper, I said, it's going to be Hataboshe.
Hataboshe.
Hataboshe. Now, when I say Hataboshe, so she said, oh my God. So I was telling people, I said, so Hataboshe really came out of the church, right? So I said, I grew up in church and I hear people speaking in tongues and saying all kind of unknown tongues.
Yeah.
And the best one that came up is Hataboshe. And guess what is the slogan, the line?
What's it?
So hot, make you want to speak in tongues.
Mighty God. Bop. Yes, I like that one. Hataboshe.
So the trade name is from the Bishop's Kitchen. So there, it must be a church, man.
Yes.
So it's the Bishop. The business is the Bishop's Kitchen,
yeah.
But the sauce line is called Hataboshe, with the slogan "So hot, make you want to speak in tongues." So we have to date 5 flavors, right?
Yes.
We have Hataboshe Original, which is a red sauce. I call that the international sauce. It goes on everything. Then there is jalapeno and rosemary. Must be a grandmama's boy to come up with something like that.
A green one,
not a lot of. There you go.
Yeah.
Then I have pineapple ginger.
Nice. That sounds nice.
I have mild and spicy because I am aware of my environment. A lot of Black Americans don't love too hot, so you have to create something that they're going to love. So that is always sold out.
Nice.
And then I have mango habanero, which is delicious. That's the newest one. And I'm working on one now for the summer, which is a barbecue sauce. And then one in honor of Jamaica is going to be a jerk. So that will be coming up. My wife looked at me and said to me, of all the places that you have cooked your restaurant plus you have done for others, why don't you package all the seasoning that you have ever used in one container and market that? Brother, listen, that became one of the biggest seller in the business. So I have now out an all-purpose seasoning that is taking the market like wildfire. When you use it, you don't need additional salt at all, because everybody is cutting down on salt because of health and all
when we
that.
find this now,
And
like,
you would love that, because you are Rasta, man.
yeah, so you don't put in a like meat thing in it. It's just all like herbs and
No,
things.
it's all natural,
spice.
stuff.
Okay.
It's all natural stuff, yeah.
Okay, so
But
where
you
I would have
use
find it?
on your ital stew and everything that you make.
Where I would have find it? Like I could find it in a local
So
Jamaican store or like at the supermarket. Where I would
Well,
find
we
it?
are now in Broward County in Florida, and we are doing deals to get into other places. But we do a lot of online sales because we
Online.
ship every day.
So you have a website or something that we can.
Yes.
Where?
Definitely. So it is www. It's the dash
Yes.
the word bishops with an S dash kitchen.com.